Hey Warlords, today I'm going to talk to you about Manchu hair, or otherwise known as ragtop, or just helmet scrim, pretty much. Is made famous in the late 80s in the invasion of Panama because it was worn by the 7th Infantry Division, specifically the 2nd Brigade, or the 9th Infantry Regiment. It was also worn by the 82nd a little bit. And this was a big thing back in the 80s because the Army, at least the light infantry part of the Army, was all big into the whole light fighter doctrine kind of thing, which we kind of lost lately. But anyway, the way the 7th Infantry Division, which was the Manchu hair part, that's what they called theirs, they usually took Pasget covers and then they would sew strips of BDU on them. And then they'd just put them over their helmets. And I think a lot of from what I've read was there was a second, it was like put over their other regular helmet cover. So it was like had a band around it, had elastic band, and they kind of just sit there, put over top, and they tie it to the helmet. And that's how they did it. And I'll throw some pictures up to show like examples of what the original ones done. Now what I did was, I don't have a Pasget, so I did it on my ACH. And I didn't really want to sacrifice a helmet cover because I'm lazy like that. So how I ended up doing it was for the strips, I did, I ended up buying like a yard of M81 fabric off of eBay. It was like 13 bucks, I think. And I cut it into, I believe, 42 1-inch by 19-inch strips. So they're super freaking long. And then I would, you might be able to see it here. Then on the 550 cord camo net, I doubled them up. And so they ended up being like 9 or 10 inches long altogether. And it seemed to work pretty good. It kind of gave it a very good leafy effect. But how I ended up doing the net was I just took some 550 cord and I gutted it. I did one big circle around the helmet. I'll throw some pictures up to see it better. But it goes all the way around. And then I did 2 cross pieces from the helmet bolts themselves. So the helmet bolt starts right here, and I went around to the front over here, and I tied it to the initial band, and I left like 3 or 4 inches of slack on the outside. That way I can tie it to the bolts, and that way it'll be secured to the helmet, it won't come off. And I did that on either side, so there's 2 here. There's one here to go in these bolts, 1 here, and I did 1 in the center to hold it together. So there's 1 back here on the back of the helmet, and it goes up underneath the nods mount here. And then after I got that all situated, I did another smaller ring of 550, if you can see it here. Ooh, baby. Yeah, you can't really see it. But it goes around the top, kind of about halfway between the band, the initial band right here, and the top of the helmet. So it goes kind of like right through here. And then when I tied the strips on, I just kind of just put them where they feel nice, you know? Like it's a helmet scrim, they don't need to be all exact. You kind of want it to be less than perfect so it blends them a little better. And I kind of did, in the little sections, I did maybe 3 or 4 of the strips, and some of them have less. Like on the front, I did a lot less. I only did, instead of doing, like I didn't put any on the lower bits on the front. That way I wouldn't have to cut as much, because on the front of the helmet, they just go up to like right here. That second band I got. And then once you get your strips all situated, you put your helmet on, and I've already done it once. You put your helmet on, get it to where it's nice and how you want it, and you just take your scissors and you cut the strips so your peripherals and your vision are clear. And that's basically it, you know. It's pretty self-explanatory, and like I said, the original way to make Manchu hair is to actually sew it onto the helmet cover itself. But I can't sew for shit, and didn't really want to ruin an ACH woodland cover because they're kind of harder to find nowadays. But yeah, if y'all have any ideas on how you can do it better, just go for it. You know, like I said, it's helmet scrim. It's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be uniform. Just do what feels right. As long as you don't look like this, then you're good. You know. Also, I forgot to mention how I secured the strips to the netting itself was I took the guts from the 550 cord and just made like triple knotted it, you know. And that should work okay. Like if you want to do something more substantial and have a better method, go for it. But I just figured might as well just use what I already had. I already had like, I don't know, 30 or 40 inches of like strands of 550 cord guts. So might as well use it. And that should work.